Which conspiracy theory is so believable that it might be true? Robert Kardashian destroyed evidence that would have convicted OJ. He was handed a Louis Vuitton garment bag by OJ's assistant right as OJ returned from Chicago. None of the cops paid any attention to him as he walked away with the bag. When the bag theory was discovered a month later, Kardashian claimed to have lost it. The Reddit search function is intentionally bad. Or not purposely bad, but they know how to fix it but refuse to encourage more new posts. Apple started the meme about AirPods being expensive as a marketing ploy. PETA is controlled opposition run by the meat industry designed to make animal rights activists look bad. That the government may dispose to see if we were onto them. Cops go on ways and leave random police sightings to cause people to slow without actually having to stay and check on people. Michael Jordan's first retirement was actually a suspension by the NBA because of his gambling. The real reason Apple removed the headphone jack was to try to remove Square Pay systems as a competitor for Apple Pay. There's an underground PR firm that helps celebrities fake their own death to escape the harshness of the limelight or if they feel like their life is in danger, i.e. Tupac, Biggie, Paul Walker, etc. Snapchat worked with the FBI to popularize and secretly test and improve face recognition technology. We went from, wow, this is like magic, to this is totally normal in a few years, and there's no way that the technology isn't being by law enforcement. Lotteries are actually traps for time travelers. Trader Joe's makes their parking lots small on purpose to make them seem more popular than they really are. The development of the F-35 fighter jet is so over budget so the military can fund other top secret projects without making a new line item on the budget. It's the only conspiracy theory I believe. D.B. Cooper, the gentleman that disappeared with $200K after jumping out of a Boeing 727 that he had hijacked, took the money and created www.imdb.com. I always hear the advice that in order to stop being heckled by Scientologists, just ask where Shelley went or ask about the circumstances of her disappearance. It usually shuts them up. That the CIA posts this question every time so they know what the general public suspect. One of my favorites is that the government was behind #ThrowbackThursday in order to get us to digitize and upload pictures that they would not have had access to in order to improve age progression facial recognition algorithms. The oil and coal industries invested heavily in killing off nuclear power as an attractive alternative. These days we have reactor designs many times safer than other methods of generating power, and the waste issue is something that could be fixed with sufficient investment. YouTube in a mobile browser is so shitty so they can force you to use the app and not use an ad blocker. Multiple football World Cups have been influenced either by governments hosting them or other entities out of their own gain. 2002 South Korea, Japan and 1978 in Argentina are the two most obvious ones that come to mind. The government experiments on the mentally insane because no one will believe someone with that kind of medical history. Everyone should learn to code is a movement to flood the market with software engineers so that salaries can be reduced. That's also why they're dropping software engineer as a title for the lesser title of coder. The president of the Philippines, Duterte, is very anti-drugs to hide his own involvements with drug cartels, of which he makes billions. I don't know if it's a conspiracy theory at this point, but a lot of people still don't acknowledge that your internet searches and social media profiles are absolutely being used as training models by major IT companies. I was a drunk college student and had access to them to run AI training. If you still think you're off the grid, you're an idiot. Being frank, it's not a big deal if you don't have dark shit to hide. Those people are too busy building the new technological world to give a shit that you look at midget porn. But don't delude yourself to think people don't have access to anything you do on the internet. Amelia Earhart was taken prisoner by the Japanese. The CIA was involved in selling crack to low-income black neighborhoods to fund activities they couldn't get approved by Congress. I mean, I'm pretty sure most people believe there was some involvement and it's just a matter of degree. But I think they were nuts deep in directly smuggling and selling crack through intermediaries to black communities with full knowledge of the Justice Department and executive branch. Women's pants pockets are significantly smaller than men's pants pockets to encourage us to buy handbags and purses. The value of expensive art is just a pseudo currency for rich people to subtly buy drugs or other illicit things. Bigfoot is blurry in real life as is. It was never the camera at fault. Memes about the NSA and other spy programs are encouraged by the very agencies spying on us, to twist the idea into the absurd and to humanize their agents. The government creates small disasters so they can frighten people and make them willingly give up their liberties in the name of safety. Miley Cyrus' crazy streak was all carefully planned marketing scheme to get her solidified as an A-list celebrity. There's a conspiracy theory that Flight 93 was shot down by hastily scrambled jet fighters and or missiles in the interest of public safety, and that the government made up the relatively wholesome "the passengers decided to fight the hijackers and sacrifice themselves" story to keep up morale. I don't know whether it happened or not, but I can entirely believe it might be true. I've always found it very plausible that Hitler didn't kill himself in the bunker, and instead fled to South America. Let's look at what we know about his death. With Germany on the brink of defeat and Russian forces closing in, Hitler shot himself in a bunker hours before they arrive. German soldiers then dragged the bodies of him, his wife, and his dog to the front yard and burned them beyond recognition. The bodies are positively ID'd by dental records provided by the Nazi Party. Given the fanatical devotion the Nazis has to Hitler, it is extremely possible that they would have been willing to shoot and burn body doubles, and alter the dental records of the corpses to match Hitler and his wife. Meanwhile, Hitler would have been evacuated to a country where he could lay low and take on a new identity. My guess would be Argentina, who fostered multiple high-ranking Nazi officials. I'm not saying he couldn't have also just shot himself in the bunker, but the whole thing always felt fishy. The Phantom Cosmonaut Conspiracy. Pretty much, the short story is that Yuri Gagarin is not the first man to go to space, but the first one to go and come back alive. It just seems like a new SSR thing to do. The FBI is using Amazon's Alexa to spy on people. The Vatican holds horrible dark secrets and many answers to existential questions, and that Area 51 is a publicity stunt by the government to hide the real testing facility. All social media platforms are a direct result of Patriarch Act and are used to keep tabs on everyone, hence the billions of users, with algorithms to keep you addicted to the constant information and the dopamine-inducing likes. That Russians are behind the anti-vax movement as a way to thin the herd immunity for the next generation of Americans. Nuclear war is old news, the next big threat will be biological. The ballistic missile threat that was sent to Hawaiian cell phone saying, "Seek shelter, this is not a drill," that was later deemed a mistake was a real missile that was intercepted before impact.